I might take the bus so that I can get some walking in. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Putting walking into the whole thing is always a good idea if you
Oh
can.
yeah. Let's see. So let me pull up the visuals.
Okay. All right, I believe that we're live.
Cool, cool, cool. And I will
We
wait for
made it.
this. We
First
made
Sunday
it.
service of May
Correct.
2026. I was going through some things. Oh, when I added Trisha to our Discord, our Career Start with Discord, I was our beta gay member is in there and
Yeah,
all with like meeting notes and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, this.
I love
Um,
that.
I was able, and also I was going through my calendars over the last years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I got to see when Sunday service started, and before that, when I was going to an ADHD planning meeting that was very unreliable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also like bringing Trisha onto this project reminds me of when you and I started Stoner Queer because we were like strangers and we were just like, well, we're gonna do it anyway.
Right. Kept together by the high of something new and
Yeah,
exciting.
we were both
Yeah.
very passionate and wanted to do something different, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You had made a website immediately.
Yeah, I love that for you guys. So Trisha is her name.
Cherisha, see, like cherish with an A.
Oh, Charisha. Very
Yeah.
unique name.
All my partners have not normal names. Not that Scarlett's an abnormal name, but you don't hear it, you
Yeah.
know? It's
I feel
unique.
like I feel like it's becoming more common, but when I was growing up, it was not. So,
Yeah.
okay. So we are a weekly, by the way, this is our last Saturday service for now. Um, so tomorrow is my last drawing day.
Oh yeah.
So after
How is it going? Can we get
it's
an update?
yeah, I wish that it was like either longer or had more days. Because we kind of like because there's only 4 sessions, we kind of have to make the most of the time that we have together, but it's only like 2 hours. So we don't get a lot of time to practice the basics. It's more like, here's how you do this thing. And now here's an exercise that is going to push you to the very edges of that. That's much harder than what you're going to have to do normally when you're practicing this thing. That way you kind of get like hard practice, like it's easier to dodge a wrench than a ball sort of thing. And so like for example, when she was teaching us about negative values, she made us start with a tiny Hobby Lobby chair miniature that she had us draw only the negative values of it. And it was a very controversial exercise. You had people in there that were just like, when am I ever going to use this? I hate this, kind of like your algebra class.
Yeah.
But it's like, and it doesn't really hit you until later that you actually are using the skill. But by the end of it, she's like, I know you hated that, but do you understand negative values now?
It's about training the eye and creating
Exactly.
habits. Habits that
Exactly.
are unconscious to us when we're doing art.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she
It
has
reminds
to
me of hair
do
school too. Like the state
really.
board exam.
Hmm.
Like, and this was 25 years ago, and I know the state board exam is a little different. It's a
Hmm.
little more modern, but I'm like, when the fuck am I doing a full head of pin curls and finger waves? That hasn't been a thing for how many years now? That and like, I don't know, roller sets and just the skateboard haircut, all of that shit. I was like, this is so stupid. But um, all of that and all of that training
Hmm.
was just the basis so I can just do regular updos. Like all the principles used in doing those practices, I can use doing other things.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. Like I wish we had more time, but like also just like you can practice the stuff in between and you can take pictures of what we're working on and work on it more. So even after the classes are done, I'm anxious to keep practicing the stuff we learned and like fill in the gaps of like jumping from this technique to this technique and filling it in between. And she also is not like a stickler, like she'll help, but she also leaves it open to like if this part is easier for you to get this result in a way that looks good to you, then that's okay. And she'll only jump in if you actively are like, I'm at a loss. I don't know how to make this like that in any way.
This is how
Um,
math homework should have been.
yes.
Well, you found your way there, so you get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
find your way there, let's figure out how.
Yeah, that's literally how I'm learning coding right now is with a really cool resource that doesn't check just copy paste code and make sure the code looks like this. It's like we're going to give it a sample prompt, and if it does the thing that it's supposed to do, however you got there, whatever names you used, like if it gives us the expected output by running it, then you pass for each exercise. And it's not like an actual graded thing. It's like you can at any point look at a hint or a solution and then compare it. Um, and if you wanted to copy and paste to just get it to say the little green correct, you can. But like, why would you do that? What's the point? You're
Right.
doing this for you, so you may as well not cheat. And I will sometimes bash my head for a while before I get the hang of it. And if I go through as much like as I can and can't figure out how to get to that point, then I'll do the solution and start like very carefully looking through the lines until I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. And then I scroll upward or
Mhm.
hide the solution. That way I can try to go from there and then see until I can piece together through it. And if I still can't piece together through it, I'll look at the whole solution and then figure out why the heck did you do it this way? And then I'll
Yeah.
try to incorporate those into my version. Like usually something as simple as changing the names of each element so that instead of just copying them, I'm like transforming it into my own version in a way that's like,
Your own
I have to
process.
know, yeah, I have to know what this represents. So you used I used item. But if I purposefully use something different than what you say, then I know exactly where that element is supposed to go and why.
Yeah. That's very
So,
much your brain. Also, we're talking about coding now. You're learning coding.
yeah, I'm taking like I'm using Kaggle to learn some very basic like programming stuff like Python and
Hmm.
whatnot. Which does, by the way, use algebra skills. So that's why that was key in my mind because
Topical, yeah.
I kept
Wow.
thinking about all the times people griped about algebra, and I'm like, it's useful, dude. Like it's really
Yeah.
useful. I would
I
not be able to figure
never
this out if I didn't have it.
I never really cared about people being like, when am I going to use this? Like at times, I guess. But even in statistics, that where I had to take it 3 fucking times, I was like, I get why I need to know this principle. I think it could help me in my life. But man, it was fucking hard. I didn't have good teachers. But
Yeah.
back to coding. That is so interesting that you are doing this. I didn't know.
Yeah, I have a lot more time on my hands at work right now. We're in a slow part right now, and I um we're going through some changes that are eventually going to lead to more work, but in the meantime, I just have extra time to fill and I need to be
Nice.
busy. So they gave me permission to normally you get like up to an hour a week for development. And at first they were like, you can have up to 40% of your weekly hours on development for now. And then they were like, okay, well, actually, for you personally, since you are extra slow right now, just do your required stuff, do your meetings, and then whatever else time you can do development stuff, which has been helpful because I've been able to contribute to the team by finding these resources. Because they had a like recommended course list, but it's very small, and some of them were like AI courses, not to learn, but just like made by AI and really not that good.
Mhm.
And me and other team members complained about it, but there wasn't anybody that was actually on it. So since I was actively doing the courses and like going through the pain points, I was able to find something that worked way better. And then now it's one of the resources that they're recommending to people that need more time filled.
Well, what it was done, I'm eating my first meal that day. Um, about the copy and paste thing reminds me of how people doing coding now, I've learned. Laura's a data and analytics person, and
Hmm.
she does no coding also. And like me, I taught myself coding when I was very in my teenage years in the 90s.
Yeah, HTML.
HTML, Perl, JavaScript, lots
Hmm.
of different programs. And I had a mentor also.
Mm.
And it was quite popular to study at the time. Like you could view source in a lot of ways and learn
Hmm.
that way. And then the trial and error process, like I could spend hours doing that and to
Hmm.
learn the language. and building my own things. And that's what helped me kind of develop. What I've learned through Laura is that people who are in these coding positions are using AI to create code.
Vibe coding. It's the bane of this generation. Like, it's terrible
And the code
because,
is wrong. It's
yeah.
bad. There's big mistakes being made.
And the worst part is because they're vibe coding, unless like there are a select few people that are using vibe coding to learn code because after they
Mhm.
do the prompt, they'll go back and pick it apart. But there are the vast majority of people that are vibe coding. They're just saying, does it look like it's doing what it's supposed to do in this particular instance? Yes. Okay, good. And then once something breaks, they don't know how to fix it
Mhm.
because they're not learning the fundamentals.
They
They're
have to write
not
a
learning
whole new
how it's
code, start
done.
from scratch.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
know
hope for the
coders
best.
who will use AI. Like I asked them, one, my friend Charles, he's been doing like back it was called IT, but
Hmm.
he's worked for like a lot of companies doing coding and whatnot. And when I asked him about it, he was like, honestly, I love it because when I get stuck, I can ask it for a suggestion, then that triggers the code that I want to produce.
Hmm.
It gives him an example. He's not copying and pasting, and if he is, it's not something that he's not learning how to do or whatever. He's using it as an assistant, really.
Right, but you have to know how to do that. And there's so many people that aren't even bothering. Like, I get really frustrated when like my boss's boss just harps on and uh pardon my French, but sucks the dick of Copilot. And it's incorporated into more and more aspects of like the systems that we're using without us even actively using it. Copilot is built in. So it is
Mhm.
also, in my opinion, kind of a security risk, but whatever. Not
Yeah.
my job. It's not my job to like, they're the ones that care about PII more than I can and I can't do
Mhm.
anything about it. But it's so frustrating when I hear him just go on and on and on about the wonders of AI and ChatGPT and Copilot. And it's gotten to the point where even when we're doing like learning stuff, like once in a while, my favorite team member will be like, hey, here's an exercise to do with coding. Or just very, very basic stuff like VBA or
Mhm.
whatever. And he'll be like, use do this workbook and versus send it back to me just so you can practice the skills. But he'll also say something like, if you have to use ChatGPT, do that. Just get the thing. And I'm like, that's a slippery slope because there is at least one person on the team who has openly said that they will use ChatGPT for everything and not care about how to get there, just have it do it for them. And I'm like, this is dangerous. I wish you didn't
Yeah.
have to say that, but I
People are
know
getting
that,
bolder about being like, yeah, use it for everything.
yeah, so
Crazy.
frustrating.
Really
Anyway.
crazy.
So there's
Anywho.
our vent for the day. Learn how to do stuff. Don't rely on AI for everything. Like
Yeah.
at least learn how to, if you want to use it as a tool or an assistant, that's one thing, but learn why it's doing what it's doing.
Learn why you want to use AI. It is
Yeah.
a cool technology, you know?
Yeah.
It is a thing that like fucking works with your brain. It's energy, just like anything else is. The online world is just energy. So if you want to use AI, figure out how you want to use it, how you can use it to maximize, and also checks and balances with it. AI is not
Hmm.
always right. And if it wants you to be right, it doubles down on
Hmm.
making sure you're right by giving you false information.
Yeah. And chatbots are especially dangerous for that.
Yeah.
So be careful with the chat boxes. Uh,
Um, Announcements.
yeah.
So I have a new Unmask group starting. Hopefully a couple. I would like to get two going. I just got fired from my 1 day a week residency salon, Shampoo Avenue
Oh,
E, East and West Village, because I was sick.
oh
Yeah,
my
they
gosh.
fired me
Was
because,
that the one with that guy running it?
yeah, the two guys. It's a salon, a stylist and a lawyer
Hmm.
who own it. Anyway, I only worked 1 day a week. That's as much as I could give them because they're full days, 11-hour days, break or no break. So like sometimes they move your break to the end of the day and you just work 10 full hours without any breaks.
Hmm.
So that I couldn't give more than 1 day. And
Yeah.
there and I was starting to like since we didn't have Sunday service, I'd pick up a Sunday because Sunday people I don't mind working in the service industry on Sundays. Sunday people are the best, to be honest.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm picking up a Saturday here, a Sunday there, one to help out, two money. Also, the money's not there. It costs me money to work there.
Hmm.
And it's a cesspool. This is the second time I've been sick in like 3 months. And I had to call out twice in a row. So two Wednesdays in a row, the first sickness. And then this last sickness, I got sick on Wednesday, which is the day that I work. And then I would have had, if I didn't get fired, I would have had a call out this Wednesday we just had because I'm still sick. Um, so yeah, that is the worst salon I've ever worked in. The worst. Business practices, policy, hours, vibe.
Sanitation.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. I mean, I like the community there. The salon that I worked at, the stylists were just fucking awesome, in a way of just community, like talking to them. I just miss being around hairstylists, and there's a lot of senior hairstylists there at that shop. And the younger hairstylists just are good, they're talented, they want to work. The
Mhm.
assistants were great. And the environment's really tough. There's zero ventilation in the salon. Zero. And the owner, that's a lawyer, even made a comment about how they've been trying to like deal with the ventilation for a while. The salon's been open 3 years or
Oh
four
my
years or
God.
something. Yeah. So zero ventilation in a chemical filled place. Also it's hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. The environment, the lighting is extremely terrible. Everyone complains about it. So it's a very stressful environment, a physically stressful environment. And it's mentally, the policy makes it mentally and emotionally stressful. Um, and I've never worked in a place so horrible,
Jeez.
so horrible. And I've worked for big corporate salons before where there's a lot of stylists, but this place has 2 salons and 40 stylists. 40, 40 style, and they're opening a third location. It's insane. It's really going in the opposite direction that beauty is trying to go and that business is trying to go.
Mhm.
So I just want to rant about that. Um, but the reason I brought that up actually is because so now my Wednesdays are free. So I'm hoping to have a group on either Monday or Tuesday, and on Wednesday. And the timings can be open.
Mhm.
I have a partner this time, Trisha. They're a very, very talented artist. I'll try and link them if I can remember. And they're in recovery. They need more healing before they can start their own community. Their goal, I think she has she, her pronouns. Her goal is to start her own communities around healing and art and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like I can help her with that as a community builder myself. The payment is different, and I just want to talk about the structure a little bit. This group meets 3 times a month and also it's okay. Is it okay if I talk about you in this? Scarlett was in my last group that ran for a year. We met every single week for about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, or an hour and a half, an hour 45. We had a time bank going. Um, and I'll let Scarlett speak for herself, but for myself, it had just changed my life in a way that I have never had such a community um, that was doing the exact same thing that I was. So what I learned from that group is that every single week is too much. So this group meets 3 times a week. It's $300 a month, and
You
it,
said 3 times a week. Do you mean 3 times a month?
yep, thank
Okay,
you. I keep doing that.
it's
It
okay.
meets 3 times a month. It's $300, and there is a sliding scale discount. If you make between $50,000 and $75,000, it's half off. So $150 a month. And if you have low or no income, then it is completely free. So those are the updates on the pricing because I am, people that have money have an excuse that they don't have time. And so this isn't that much time, and people that don't have money but have time, have the money excuse. So now there's really no excuse to spend a few hours a month on healing, and growing your own community around healing. So if you know anybody who could use this group, please share um, the link. You can apply. Even if you don't want to do it, just apply because we'll keep you in our community with email. We'll send you emails about healing stuff. I haven't started that yet, but that's my plan. Because some people like just learn about healing and they're like not ready for a group, but they want, they might be ready in 2 years. So if that's you, just apply. And then I can get some demographics about what the needs of people who need this group are, like what days and times are available.
Hmm.
You know, I know people have 9 to 5s out here, you for example. So we tailored that around Scarlett. Um, and it was, we had to reschedule when we had to reschedule. We just made it work. But I also have been a part of groups that are at like 1 p.m. on a Thursday, you know, because our jobs actually, a lot of them do allow us to take time for our own well-being, physical or mental, and we should utilize that for something like this, you
Hmm.
know? The only things that you need are an open attitude and some privacy. So a place where you can be vulnerable, you know, like I wouldn't be able to do this group if my girlfriend were in the apartment because what if I want to talk about her, you
Hmm.
know? Or what if I want to talk about feelings related to her or our relationship? I wouldn't feel comfortable if she was around. Um, because, and it's not that I wouldn't even not talk to her about what goes on in the group for my own self, like what I learn. But I know that I am restrictive about the way that I talk about myself and my feelings when there's anybody around,
Hmm.
especially someone who wouldn't understand why I feel the way I feel and
Right.
why I'm doing what I'm doing and, you know, what's important to me and what's not important to me. So this group is an hour to an hour and a half. That's the amount of time I have allotted. And also, I have a couple of scholarships for one-on-ones. So, for example, my new partner, as I'm calling her, I've offered her a certain amount of one-on-ones per month for helping me out. But also that sliding scale still applies for one-on-one situations. The group goes ideally for 3 months minimum and lasts a year. What else? I think that's it. It's called Unmask, Unmasq. It's on Instagram at unmasking. There was no unmask, of course, but unmasking is the Instagram. So go follow it and we'll post updates. And join the motherfucking group.
Do it.
And the groups have hopefully no more than 5 people. So if there's more than 5 people, I would probably split the groups in 2 people.
Hmm. Yeah, I can definitely attest that it was extremely helpful. Um, like for me, I loved having a place to keep me accountable that I could come in and feel inspired to like try to use the tools that we learned and know that I would have a place to come and talk about how it affected me and how well it worked and get support if I struggled with it. And hear if someone else is struggling with something similar. So it was definitely a safe space to be in.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for telling us all about that and for the announcement. And with that in mind, we can go ahead and jump in. So this is our weekly planning survey, planning. We focus on structure and clarity throughout and accountability throughout the week. And we come at it from a neurodivergent lens. So we want to practice time management and self-care and grace for ourselves. We want to make realistic plans, define what on time means for that day, delegate when we need to, and build rest and joy into our days. Um, so we want to prepare ourselves by honoring the moment and setting the tone. We're here, we're curious for the ritual. We want to stay grounded and inspired. Curate the vibe with lighting, music, things that keep you comfortable. Want to handle basics like going to the bathroom, hydrating, stretching, and whatnot. Grab the tools that you need, like pens and notebooks, calendar. We also have our Notion template as a resource, and we will use visuals, which reminds me I need to share my screen. And so we'll do this in 4 parts. Window. So the first thing we'll do is our brain dump for 20 minutes, and then we will do reflective questions about the previous week. Then we'll do our top 20 for the week, and then we will fill out our calendar. So, are you able to see the visuals?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So we'll take 20 minutes for a brain dump, which there's no right or wrong way to do this. We just take anything that's taking up space in our brain and just put it all out on paper or a Notion or whatever. It can be a list or a block of text or both. And then later on, we'll come back and pull out the most important parts. But the important thing is to just clear up space. So 20 minutes for that, and then we will come back.
Thank you.
All right, that's time. How we do?
Pretty good. I did like a combo of like brain dumping and then something quick that I could do. I just did it. What
Mhm.
about you?
I started with writing, or I started with a little list, and then and then I went to like a little bit of journaling. And then I remembered some bills that I didn't account for, so I jotted those down as well, so I could make sure that we have enough to cover them. So just that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Um, So we now have a reflective question. So we're going to think back on our previous week and ask ourselves, like, how did the week go? Did I fulfill all my rules? Was there something I need to follow up on? You can do it like all flowing together in one writing prompt thing, or you can break it down if that helps you think of it differently. But we'll take 10 minutes for that, and then we'll come back and move on to top 20.
Thank you.
All right, that's time. How do we feel?
I actually spent the entire time being in calendar hell. Um, my Google Calendar situation's gotten out of control. There's just like sometimes it creates three events. So I went in there
Mm,
as like a little side quest and I've been in there ever since.
good grief.
It's fine. I'm figuring it out. It's been on my list of things to do for probably a year.
Mm.
So I use this as dedicated time to do that. How about you?
I went into journal mode and just kind of I took what I started in the brain dump and just kind of jumped off with the focus on instead of just today and this morning and last night, like went for the whole week and realized that despite my feelings last night, which were not great,
Hmm.
I did a lot this week to be proud of, and I just need to focus on that. And I did a lot of reflecting in my reflective blurb, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Beautiful.
So we'll take our top 20. We'll take 15 minutes for that, and we're just going to take up to 20 ideas, tasks, or projects or whatever from our brain dump and reflective questions, and just things to focus on for this next week. It doesn't have to be exactly 20, but try to keep it to that or less so we can be reasonable about what we can accomplish. And we'll take 15 minutes and come off mute to go to our last step.
Thank you.
All right. That is our top 20. How do we feel?
Oh, feeling really good. My top 20 is still pretty small because I'm focusing on Unmask. Once I get that up and running, I'm gonna start focusing on other things. For some reason, something clicked to me recently where instead of focusing on one thing, I'm literally always focusing on several things, which is slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally have it in my mind that I can focus on this one thing. It doesn't mean everything else goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's where I'm at, which is great. How'd you do?
I did okay. I started pretty small too, pretty much just what I thought of in the brain dump. And then I went back to journal some more. And in the process of doing that, I remembered more stuff that I needed to add to the list.
Mm.
So just kind of jumping around a little bit, but still hitting the main points. Um, in that, I was wondering if we could do like half calendar time today so I could get a head start on getting ready to leave in case the bus is going to take longer to get there.
Sure. I don't
Um,
even need to do calendar if you want to skip.
okay. Yeah, I kind of already checked the weather and everything today and got a head start with some of that stuff earlier in the meeting. So we can skip
Oh,
calendar today and we can come back on next Sunday, I think.
oh
I
yeah,
do
let's
need,
do a little housekeeping first. I just saw your Zoom message, by the way.
yeah.
The 24th, I have a discrepancy. That would mean that we already are not doing the 7th. So that would mean that we're taking 2 bi-weeks in a row. How do we feel about that?
What do you mean the 7th? That's a,
17th, sorry.
oh, yeah, no, I need the 17th off because I will be out of town. So, uh, we,
Right. So like I have a discrepancy on the 24th. So
mhm.
I'm asking how we feel about having 2 bi-weeks in a row.
Um, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Like, is there anything
Well,
we can do to get one in there?
I will say there are 5 weeks this month. Um, if that counts for
Oh,
anything.
that's true.
So we could have the extra bye week and count it as still having 3 meetings this week or
Yeah,
this month.
yeah.
Alternatively, we could meet the 23rd instead of the 24th.
The 23rd, I can't. I am in studio.
Okay. And I'll be out of town on the 16th. So it
Oh,
sounds
you
like,
were. Okay.
yeah, it sounds like what we're doing is we're going to do the 2 bye weeks this month, but it's okay because we have an extra week in the month.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay. So we'll cancel the 24th.
So we will meet on the 10th next week. And oh, wait. E Yeah. Yeah. The 10th next week and the 31st.
Beautiful. My first Liberty game is on the 24th. My birthday's on the
Ooh,
26th. Then we have
yes.
another Liberty game on the 27th.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we will take back the rest of the time and I will see you next Sunday.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.